So one of the main ways I've been able to find and heal my own masculine wounds has been in seeing where I have what we call leaky energy. So to me, leaky energy looks like being or exuding kind of like sleaziness or creepiness and passive aggressive tendencies, as well as absence of mind. So, tackling each one of these one by one, let's say creepiness or sleaziness, that's what, like, when I noticed that I would be checking girls out or not acting on my desires, or feeling kind of like wishy-washy or yes but no, like 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, with my desires, lets me know like there's something there. One, there's something there holding me back, but two, there's a part of me that hasn't felt guided or supported when it comes to fulfilling, but also like manifesting, directing, creating what it is that I want. And my dad just messaged me. Hey, oh, that's a good secret right there. My desires, right? So if I think of my desires as like my light, then I want to guide, mold, shape, create, direct that energy into what we call like the manifest, into the present moment. So that can be in creating experiences for me, with women, where I ask them out, where I pay them a compliment, where my desire for connection has a healthy outlet. And so if you've ever read like the r/Tinder subreddits, you'll see where men have not been guided or molded in the best of ways, where they have masculine wounds. And this applies to women and non-binary people as well. So in leaky energy, right, that's, to me, has always looked like that kind of yes but no. Like, I have this desire, but I just don't know how to express it in a healthy way. Or I have this desire, but I feel like shame and guilt that I don't deserve this desire, or to have the desire fulfilled, or I'm not worthy of having someone else help me fulfill and satisfy, create and manifest that desire. And I think this lends itself well to passive aggressive behavior in nature. I had like a coworker and an ex who had that thing, that trait about them, like passive aggressiveness. And it's something that's always kind of like irked me. I just don't really appreciate that. I don't like it. I feel like the person can't be direct with me. And right, that's, so directness is a yang, is a masculine energy. It's a masculine trait, being direct, penetrating the bullshit or the space between us, and just being very clear and concise in what's going on with you, with me, with us, with this moment, what you're picking up on, right? If you can speak the truth of the moment, then that's going to reveal how the other person reacts to truth, where the other person's blocks are with light and with truth. Because if you think of like, if I block the light in front of me, then you see shadows. That's where I'm not letting truth in. But if I just stand out of the way, light can hit me and I can be seen, I can be heard for who I really am. And I think that scares people, because what if somebody sees me for who I really am, and they reject me, if they abandon me, if they judge me? Or what if I really like someone and they're not willing to see me for who I am? Then I lose that person who I really liked, who I was honestly kind of like projecting stuff onto, in terms of like external validation, you know? So leaky energy, passive aggressiveness, and absent-mindedness. Absent-mindedness, I mean, like, what comes to mind is drinking and weed, different kinds of like drugs. I think even psychedelics to an extent. Anything that helps us escape from being fully present. Now, with that, I think, especially in my own personal experience, going through traumas makes me, it kind of, it's not just that it creates a wound, or it's more of like the depth of the wound. What makes sense to me is that the depth of the wound will be not just part and parcel, but like it will equate, or it will lend itself, it'll show like the depth of the wound, I think, expresses itself in the depth of our absence. So on the other hand there, how much I've healed my traumas is reflected in how present I can be with others and with myself, with the moment in general. So I think masculinity, or the yang, like, right, not like manliness, but like this energy that often expresses itself or has the traits of presence, really strong, radiant presence, man, woman, non-binary, who has like, who do you know in your life who you value their presence, who has just like, they walk into the room and you notice, like you just notice. It doesn't have to be like, whoa, I'm blown away, but like, oh, hey, there's that person. They just walked into the room. It doesn't have to be a big, grand, spectacular thing, but they just have a good presence about them. If you notice who these people are, you'll notice who has good masculine traits, yang traits that we can learn from, especially if we ask, right? That's a form of like directing and receiving, right? That dance between yin and yang, masculine and feminine. But what I found helpful is, let's say if you're looking to go sober, if you're looking to like ease back on weed or drinking, one thing that really helped me out was this video that I saw where like the guy would put a timer for 10 minutes. He's like, okay, for 10 minutes, I want to notice what's going on within me. I want to delay the gratification of, smoking weed, or, having for me, it was a glass of whiskey. I'm going to put that off for a second, just for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, I'm going to be with this desire, this discomfort of wanting to self-sedate, of wanting to sedate that within me that is looking to surface, to express itself. For 10 minutes, I'm just going to be with myself instead. After those 10 minutes, then if I really still feel like it, I'm going to have compassion. I'm going to have patience with myself. This is a long life we're on, good long journey that we're on. And I'm going to treat myself to the bowl, to the glass of wine, the glass of bourbon, whatever is your drink of choice. And I'm going to practice patience with myself. I'm going to practice patience with myself. I'm not going to be like, oh, there's that, for me, there was that part of me that was like, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. And in darker times, it would be like, dude, you're a piece of shit. You're still smoking weed. You're wasting your life, all these kinds of things, which is like what I feared hearing from my dad. Masculine wounds. So with these three things, with these three insights, I'm wondering, one, how are they registering with you? Two, is this something that you're willing to implement in your life? And three, what is it, or who is it that could be blocking you from healing your masculine wounds, right? When we think of toxic masculinity, what comes to mind and what inspired this video was that I saw a wound, and remember what I called the leaky energy. I saw that wound leaking energy. So how do I know that I've healed it? Is that instead, and this is, it's something I'm like for sure not proud of, but like instead of looking at the girl or objectifying her, or of like imbibing in that like sleazy, leaky energy with a girl, I'll face the discomfort of not doing those things. Like, what does it mean about me, or like, what does it mean about my identity if I'm not imbibing in that sleazy, leaky energy? Who am I then? And I have to sit with that person. And that's, I think, a far better person to be than, this guy from work, and a lot of like older Mexican dudes who I've seen around town and in Mexico have that like I remember seeing, so like this one guy that I work with was just like very old, very disgusting, sleazy guy. And I would hate to become that kind of person. And it shows like, okay, that's what a person with masculine wounds looks like. But then there was this other guy who was like, I used to live across the street from a high school. And there was this, again, an old Mexican dude who was just like on the corner and just like ogling, like just shamelessly, like looking at the high school girls, like running laps around the high school. It was a very small school. Like, man, I just felt so much anger and contempt and wanted to like whoop this guy's ass for being so disgusting. But you know, that's kind of our shadow, as we project our own insecurities and our own wounds. And by shadow, I mean like, there's this guy who I fear becoming. And in wanting to whoop his ass, really, I'm wanting to whoop the ass of this internalized, learned, like part of myself. Yeah. So like, who have you seen? Who has modeled the behavior for you that is less than helpful, is less than ideal, is less than who you really are? Because underneath those wounds, there's a light trying to shine through. And those wounds are really just like blocks. See if I can do this right. Right? Passing through and wanting to help us. If you think of it like an inner child, these things want to help us fulfill our desires and have a good life, just not in ways that are practical. Self-sabotage is really self-protection. Yeah. I'll leave it there, and I'm sure I'll touch on this subject more in the future. Hope this video finds you well. I love you. Peace.